Chippewa.
Heavenly Father, we come to you in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you, Lord, for being the giver of all good things. Lord, we want to thank you for and asking for your continued blessings in our community. Lord, we ask for your wisdom, knowledge, guidance, and understanding as we make decisions for the good of all who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Lord, grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we say and do. All glory be to you, loving God, now and always. Amen.
Miigwech, Diana, thank you for that. So once again, thank you all for joining us today. We're happy to see a lot of familiar faces out here for the spring 2017 distribution. Just a couple numbers I want to run by you here before we get started and introduce some of the folks that help make these decisions. This cycle, we had a total of 406 requests put in, totaling $9,532,741.02. So obviously there's a need. A lot of that came from Isabella County. Saganing and the Aranac County folks contributed for 95 of those requests, 53 coming from the government entities, and 42 coming from our local schools. So we do know there's a need here, and I know that as I introduce the next folks, our tribal council, these are the folks that have to make these tough decisions. Obviously, they would love nothing more than to be able to fund each and every one of these requests, but it just strictly isn't possible. But they do the best they can to maximize the resources that are available and to make sure that we're affecting the most people we can with each and every one of these requests. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our tribal council to you, the folks making these tough decisions and the ones that tire endlessly over these to make sure they're having the best impacts for these. So I will start right up front with our tribal chief, Frank Cloutier. Our tribal chaplain, Diana Quignall-Grundle. Our tribal secretary, Michelle Colwell. Councilmember Tim Davis. Councilmember Amanda Oldman. Our Sergeant at Arms, Ronnie Echtel. Tribal Sub-Chief, Brent Jackson. And our District 2 representative, Ron Nelson. We also have a few council members that were unable to join us today. They had other obligations and commitments. Our tribal treasurer, Gail Rule, council members Kenny Sprague, and council members Candace Benzinger and Lindy Hunt. But again, they put just as much effort into these requests as these council members here today. But a big Miigwech and thank you for all the work that our council does, all the work our leadership does to really maximize these funds once again. At this time, I'd like to have our chief give you a welcome. So if I could invite up Tribal Chief Frank Cloutier.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for coming out. I'm not going to talk about the 2% and how good it is. We all know that. What I wanted to talk to you folks about is what we have to look forward to. We've been working through these roundtables with every one of you and some of your constituents to see how we can best leverage every dollar of 2% that we share with local units of government and schools. We've got a lot of feedback. It's been very positive. We're to the point where we're going to go electronic with the applications. That's going to give us the opportunity to actually compile, sort, and use all the data that we're building in this process. It's going to help with grants. It's going to help with in-kind dollars. It's going to help show collaboration to our local legislators as well as our state and federal partners. So I believe it's the 25th. There's a beta testing that's going to be rolled out through our website. You're going to be able to play with that for the next 60 or so days to figure out what it's about, how comfortable you can get with it. It's got an opportunity for checks and balances so you can keep control of and know what's being funded in and around the community. So it's going to be a good program for you. I just wanted to encourage you folks, once you get the notifications for that, to please go on there, try it out, provide any criticism, any questions you may have. If you need any assistance, that would be the time to do it. But we're really looking forward to that. We're looking to build a future where we're making sure that every dollar we spend goes out in the community and touches as many souls as it possibly can. Because at the end of the day, we only succeed when you folks succeed. So lots of wonderful things for the future, and we're looking forward to it. Eric will talk a little bit more about that afterwards, but for those of you who haven't signed in, please do. And if you have a professional email, please provide that to us, because it's another way we're going to use to reach out to you. Okay, so with that, enjoy the distribution, and I'll see you at the checks.
Thank you very much, Chief. So echoing those thoughts, yes, so we gave our tribal council the presentation of the beta testing of our new online application, and that was just the other day on the 25th. We will actually have the go live date Thursday, June 1st. But I'll talk about what I need from you guys after I give you guys some money and some of those checks, and then have another request for you guys to help me out as we proceed, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that application looks like. So just wanted to let everyone know, since 1994 and since we've been doing 2% distribution, we have totaled over $242 million, $809,449, since 1994. So over $242 million has been contributed to local area schools and governments. And, you know, we can see that, I know you folks can see that, and everybody around us in these communities sees that. And that's something we are very grateful to have the opportunity to provide, something very grateful we are appreciative and having the opportunity to take part in. So a big thank you for you folks for being great stewards of the monies that are given to your townships, to your schools, and we look forward to obviously contributing this as long as 2% remains in this area. I know we talked last time, and we've gotten a lot of questions about the state negotiations, and the very little that we can talk about those, we are remain committed to keeping that funding local. So you don't have to worry. You know, the state may try to bargain and do some things with us, trying to get them to put into the state account, but we want to keep those monies local. So you have our word, and we're committed to doing that for you folks. Not only through our tribal council, I have a couple other people I'd like to thank today. It takes more than just our leadership and some of the folks here. A lot of people do a lot to make sure this day is possible and to make sure the applications are seen so that they can be looked at and be honored in the proper manner. So I'd like to start by introducing a couple new faces to the area. To my right here and sitting at the table to help distribute checks today, we have Dominic Ortiz. He is our new Chief Financial Officer. So Dominic, if you could stand up. Thank you. He's been a welcome addition and has been really doing a lot for not only the governmental side of things, but those business operations as well. So we're very glad and proud of having Dominic on board. We've also brought our new CEO on board. He didn't get a chance to come out to our last distribution, and Ray's been here for several months now. But Mr. Ray Brenny is our new CEO for the Soaring Eagle Casino, the Saganing Eagles Landing. And again, thanks to Ray for all the good he's done. We also have a new position here, and a familiar face that some of you may have already met or have known, but Mr. Bob Van Wert is now our Saganing Eagles Landing Casino General Manager here on property. So, Bob, thank you for coming today. Of course, thanks to my staff who helps get all those phone calls out to make sure all of you are here, help answering those questions. So unable to join us today is our Public Relations Manager, Sandy Sprague, and in the back we have our Administrative Assistant, Tracy Klitsch, with us today. So thank you for all that you do. And then the folks who help compile these books and put these things together. Our grants team was unable to make it, but one of our long-time employees for grants, Sylvia Murray, has retired and has left us in good hands with our new grants manager, Shannon Smith. And so we look forward to working with Shannon and continuing on this process, but thank you to the grants team. And then we have with us today some of those folks that help on the education side of things. We have our Director of Education, Melissa Isaac, here. And our Assistant Director of Education, Christina Sharp. So thank you to both of those ladies for helping prioritize some of those requests and get those ready for council. Sometimes they make sure that they receive all of those requests from our local schools to make sure that they do have an equitable shot of getting some funds. So we appreciate that as well. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the folks here from the Saganing Eagles Landing Casino and the Tribal Center for hosting us here at this great facility, providing the wonderful snacks and doing all that it is to make sure this event is successful. And I know they're in the back of the room, so a big applause for all of them. All right, so enough with the welcomes. We'll tell you what I need from you later on here, and let's get to the part that many of you are here for today, and let's give away a little bit of money. So we're going to start with Aranet County. Aranet County is receiving $217,312.39, and we have Dennis Stowowie, the treasurer, coming up to receive those funds. And I don't think I see Dennis here, so if we want to have another representative from the county come up, looks like Adam's going to come up, and another county commissioner is going to join him.
I'm Adam Krajewski, County Commissioner for District 5.
I'm Ron Brandon, Commissioner, District 4. I'm also Chairman of the board.
And we just want to say, thank you so much to Tribal Council and Chief Cloutier and everyone that makes this possible. It's interesting to hear the Chief speak about, what the future holds, because that was the word that popped into my mind when I, looked at the sheet and saw which grants we received. Is really very forward-looking from the tribe in terms of funding Heritage Route, funding 211, funding jail security, funding bridge work that is critical so that the bridge doesn't become an even bigger, more costly problem down the road. It's just incredible. I know you guys have a tough task sifting through all those requests, and you do a judicious job every year, and we just want to say thank you from the, this is a sincere thank you, because you really do a great job in looking out for our community, because we are one community and we have to support each other, and we're happy to support you as well. So thank you so much.
Just on behalf of Mr. Stowowie, who couldn't be here, and the clerk, we'd like to thank you, and especially it's been good for us over the years. The tribal members have really did a job for us, and we'd like to say thank you again.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have the City of Omer receiving $37,000 today, and on behalf of the city, we have Ruth Ann Cook, the mayor.
In the city of Omer, we've been doing the same as all the other communities around us and trying really hard to cover all of the needs of our community with our current revenues. So often the things that we look to the tribe for are wants rather than those needs. The thing that they chose from the list that we gave them this time to grant us was a need. And so I not only want to thank the tribe for their generosity, I want to thank them for taking the time that they did to read through all of our requests and grant the one thing that we needed the most, the paving for our senior center. The safety of our seniors is our utmost concern, of course.
Hi, my name is Angela Weeks. I am the director of the Senior Center, and I would like to thank Tribal Council, everyone here who made it possible for us to get this parking lot replaced. Like she said, safety of our seniors of Aranet County and anybody using our building is our main concern. So I'd like to thank everybody, and I'd like to thank the City of Omer for putting critical on our, I want to cry, for putting critical on our application for making this happen. And like anybody trying to do a grant, because it's not my first time requesting it, so try over and over again if they keep denying you, because it will happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. And I know that's been a grant that's been out there, and one that I'm glad to see came through for you folks. Is that building, as many of you know, is used so much more than just for senior services, but everything that they do there for the community is helpful. So truly a big benefit to the City of Omer. Next, we have the City of Pinconning receiving $30,000 today. And on behalf of the City of Pinconning, we have Bill Jacera, the City Manager.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Jacera. On behalf of the city and its residents and business owners, I'd like to thank the council member, Chief Cloutier. We put a theme together for beautification of the city. I feel the city's been neglected for a while. So this money that we're getting is going to beautify the park. We have a 13-acre park that's been under pressure to get spruced up. We have our streets need to be striped, our curbs painted, the park bathrooms fixed up. Also, that 13 acres, there's a lot of lawn to be cut, so we got a nice new lawnmower with the gift of the Indians tribe. So I thank you very much, and we'll be busy this spring and summer. I'd like to introduce the mayor, Brazel.
Hello. Just want to thank the tribe, Chief Cloutier. It's a big deal for us, so thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next up, we have the City of Standish receiving $33,000 today. And on behalf of the City of Standish, we have City Manager Jerry Nelson and Mayor Ray Kordaleski.
On behalf of the City of Standish, I'd like to thank the tribe, Chief Cloutier. This is a very generous donation to us to help us put good money to use. The $33,000 will turn into $1 million for our community as it goes into a SAW grant that we are getting for stormwater, asset management, and wastewater improvements and technology being updated. With budgets being tight, you look at where can you find that kind of money. We reached out to the tribe and we were gracious enough to get it, and we really appreciate it. That's a lot of money for us to turn around into a big dollar amount for our community. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. And that's kind of one of the themes and what we're excited about, and as I'll talk later about that new online application, but it'll help you get more detail about talking about some of those matching funds, what one grant can lead to more, and maybe some funds that were already raised that contributes to the total completion of a project. So it's stories like that, opportunities like that, that maybe you haven't expressed thus far or had the ability to in your grant proposals, that we're excited about this new format. So we'll touch on that a little later. Next up, we have Aranac Township receiving $5,900. And on behalf of Aranac Township, we have the Township Supervisor, Tim Hagley, Township Clerk, Cindy Hellemar, and the Deputy, Heather Bowman, coming up for this grant. None? All right. We'll have Alan come up and introduce himself for many that may not know him. And I'm sorry we got those wrong.
They're all busy today.
All right.
All right, thank you. I'm Alan Osher, Aranac Township. I'm the trustee, and I'm the one who got elected. Everyone else was busy today. So we're having a little problems with our property lines with the hall and our cemetery. So we found out we had buildings on some of our property, and possibly we had some graves that was outside of our cemetery. So we're put in a grant for survey, and we got it, and we thank you very much. It's going to be very helpful getting everything all straightened out. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. I'll let them know they sent the right man for the job to say a few words on your behalf, and I'll tell them next time they call Tracy, they let us know if they're not going to be here. We'll request you next time, Al. Next up, we have Augrey Township receiving $2,575, and on behalf of Augrey Township, we have Michael Oxley, the Township Supervisor, and John Stanley, the City, or just Michael Oxley, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Eric. Good talking to you. I am Township Clerk, not the Supervisor, thank heavens. We have, this is like the third year that we've gotten the tire grant from the tribe. We really appreciate it. Last year previous year we got rid of about 800 tires, and last year was close to 1,000. So they are very, very grateful to get that stuff out of our township. Thanks so much for all of your help to the tribal council and to the tribal chief, and that's it.
Thank you, Michael. Next up, we have Deep River Township receiving $21,500. And on behalf of Deep River Township, we have Joanne Schwartz, the trustee, and Anne-Marie Barushko, the clerk. And we have one more.
Hi, he didn't name me, but I'm Carla Krochalewski Raymond, and I'm the supervisor for Deep River Township. I'm not going to talk a long time, which I'm sure my boss doesn't believe. Right, Gary? But I'm going to take it a little more personal and say that I've been honored to work for the tribe since the day we opened here. And therefore, I know how wonderful they are, how honest and caring and very generous they are. And on the other side of that, I'm honored that the township has elected me to serve them again, and it's going to be wonderful to put this money to use. We got money for both the fire department and the playground, so safety and the children, and those are important things to us. Thank you very much to the tribe.
Hi, my name's Joanne Schwartz. I'm the one that usually cries, so pardon me if I do, but thank you so much for my firefighters' equipment. They informed us last year that all of a sudden all our equipment is going to expire in 2018, and that's like 21 pieces of breathing apparatuses. So and for our township to buy 21 is just crazy, absolutely out of our budget. So thank you for keeping our firefighters safe. And most of all, my children. I am so touched. I've tried so hard to get that playground equipment fixed up. That the merry-go-round is in such terrible shape that I had to actually go in there and cut out all the webbing so the kids wouldn't just trip on it. So thank you so much. These are the two most important things for our township right now, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I want to thank you too for Deep River Township. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Lincoln Township receiving $38,500. And on behalf of Lincoln Township, we have Township Supervisor David Hertzberg.
Thank you. I see Mitch is not here. Darn it. I didn't want to step on his toes here because, you know, it's not good to step on the chief's toes, you know. Anyway, the fire authority requested some money because we had a recent addition to the fire authority with the city of Omer and Augrey Township. So we do have, and they joined the fire authority last year. And so now we need room for extra equipment, and the storage area is not working. And I think the antique fire truck, we're losing the home where we've been parking it, so we need a space to park that also. So we can't leave that antique outside. So anyway, thank you. So that was 37, yeah. And I noticed up here in the drainage map, about a year ago, Larry Davis requested some drainage maps for all the townships, the 9 townships that were in the circuit. And last year they were installed at all the township halls, except 3. And I think I see you have an allocation for the last 3 in the township. We have 12 townships in Aranet County. So we'd like to thank the tribe for installing or getting equipment for all it's digitizing. So it does all our drain maps, and we also have parcel mapping. And my assessor's really enthused about this. It brings us up to, the 20th century here. So she's really enthused, so we'd like to thank you for everything for that. And I'm not sure on I see there's some money that was allocated for the Pine River Bridge. I'm not sure where it goes, but we do have the Pine River Bridge on Monlighter Road in South Branch Pine River. And that will be started this year. We put in I'll bring you up to speed a little bit on it. We put in a critical bridge grant about 8 or 9 years ago, and actually this finally came through about a year ago. And so we have to follow up on that. So we've been going back and forth with the DEQ. Bridge is presently 50 feet. They want to do it 90 feet. Of course, that increased the cost tremendous here. Actually, the creek actually dries up in the summertime. But we got everything's finalized right now, so it'll be starting in the middle of the month. We got the bids back. It's only $699,964 or something like that. The bids range from almost $700,000 to $1.1 million for that bridge there. So anybody's working on bridges, man, it's a tremendous cost. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for that also. So in our general allocation, we'll probably go towards our dust control because that's starting to get some calls right now. Okay, yep, thank you.
Thank you, David. Next up, we have Mason Township, today receiving $11,000. And on behalf of Mason Township, we have Mark Heidman, the Township Supervisor, and Darlene Yanish, the Township Clerk.
Hi, Mark. This is Darlene. Our money was spent toward our cemetery and our road improvements. The cemetery, we've been slacking. I think we have one of the largest cemeteries in the county, actually, and so we're putting a little time and effort into that between the trees and the roads. So the money here spent will help the cemetery and the older generation that hangs out at the cemetery. So that being said, I mean the people who are still walking. We appreciate everything the tribal's done for us throughout the years, not only for the township, but for the county and the community. And not everybody here knows, but I'm also the Vice President of the School Board for Aranac Eastern, which isn't on our roster this year. Everybody knows that Aranac Eastern is closing, but I want to extend a huge thanks for what you've done for that school throughout the years. You've made huge improvements, and we did our best to try to keep that school open, and so the story goes. But I appreciate everything the tribe's ever done for us, community, county, and schools. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, always sad to hear about a school closing, but we understand some of the constraints within the state and how that funding allocation student account goes. And hopefully, you know, we can allocate some of those dollars to our other schools in the area to provide those services elsewhere. Next up, we have Moffett Township receiving $14,925.48. And we have Dennis Spencer on behalf of Moffett. And looks like we have a couple of the gentlemen from the Firefighters Authority here.
Good afternoon. I am Dennis Spencer. I am a firefighter, 30 years. I'm also a Moffett Township Supervisor. I would just like to thank the Tribal Council and Chief Latier for taking this request for this grant seriously so we could upgrade our repeater system for our radios. Moffett Township is up in the corner of the county, and at times we get on scene with our handheld radios, and communication is very poor. And communication is our lifeline when we are out there in the field fighting a fire. So I just can't thank you enough for this grant, for this repeater. And it will not only serve as a great backup if the West repeater were to ever go down in Aranac County, but it will allow us great communications on scene in Moffett Township and the surrounding communities that we have mutual aid agreements with. Just thank you very much.
I'm Rick Closis. I'm the fire chief of Moffett Township. I wear a couple hats here in the county. I'm also co-chair of the 911 Authority Board, and I'm also president of the Firemen's Association. The acquisition of all the equipment to improve our communications here will not only benefit just our township, but the whole county as a whole. And I want to thank the chief and the Tribal Council for this. I'm lost for words. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your service as firefighters in the area. We sure do appreciate that. Next, we have Pink County Township receiving $60,999.35, with Sharon Stalsberg, the Township Supervisor, receiving those funds today.
I thank the tribe for the generous donation or 2% monies for Hunter Road. Hunter Road is a road that has been on the critical bridge list for probably 10 years now, and we have a problem with garbage trucks going over it, school buses can't go over it. If the bridge goes down, I know our fire equipment can't, neither can our ambulance. If the bridge goes down, it's going to landlock 3 residents on the north side. So we greatly appreciate this. This is in conjunction with the Bay County Road Commission and Pink County Township. Also, Northern Bay has purchased a new ambulance for transfers, and we had to equip it with a Hearn radio, so this will be greatly appreciated for them too. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. Next up, we have Sims Township receiving $1,000 today, and on behalf of Sims Township, we have Township Supervisor Bob Mackey.
Well, we didn't come in too high this year, but we'll be back. So we'll be, we've got a couple road grants that we're looking at, or a couple road projects that we're working at, one in collaboration with Gray. So thank you to the council for all your work. It's an awesome job that you've been doing. So thank you very much on behalf of Sims Township.
Thank you, Bob. And as always, we hear up here that there are a lot of those grants that weren't funded, and as we say, we'd like to fund those ones. Continue to try, as you heard before, because sometimes there's simply not enough dollars to go around. But we do appreciate each and every one of those requests. The council does take those seriously. So if there are other allocations out there, and maybe it wasn't meant for this cycle, but we do have future cycles available. So. Next, we have Standish Township receiving $1,300, and we have Robert North, the Township Supervisor, coming up for Standish Township.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank the Tribal Council. Standish Township is part of the Fire Authority. I actually have a seat on the Fire Authority. It's one of the many meetings that I get the honor of attending in a month. But so the stuff that you've allocated, the money that you've allocated for the Fire Authority is going to be very, very well spent. It's stuff that we need. So thank you guys for that. I brought with me today Shara Klink. She's our clerk, and I keep bringing her to these events because she is going to be the future of Standish Township. So I want you guys to get used to seeing her around. And as far as what I've got to say, I mean, what can I say? Thank you guys very much. I look forward to these. It's an opportunity to come and hang out with some really cool people. It's an opportunity to get some snacks and get a check. So thank you guys very much.
Well, thank you, Robert. We love having you too, and I know you were here early today, and we said we love company over here, so feel free to stop in and visit us when you're in the area. Next up, we have Turner Township receiving $32,759.02, and on behalf of Turner Township, we have Denise Gates, the Township Clerk, and Jeremy Gates.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Gates. I'm the Turner Township Supervisor. I'd like to thank the tribe and the Tribal Council for the grant. They've supported Turner Township for a long time, and we really appreciate it. And I'd just like to say thank you.
I just want to say that this grant that we received this time for the roads is huge because I've been on the board for 10 years now, and I think one of the hardest things that we had to do this year was listen to residents, come into a meeting, and actually see them in tears because They knew they wouldn't get ambulances up their road if they needed them. They would not get patrol cars, school buses. We had a mother with 3 children carrying groceries, carrying her children. And with this grant, we'll now be able to take care of those roads that those people were having the trouble with. And I just want to say thank you again for that. It's going to be huge for us and huge for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Whitney Township receiving $3,285. And on behalf of Whitney Township, we have John Garris, the Township Treasurer.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the tribe and the council on behalf of Whitney Township and our residents. We got grant money to replace our overhead doors and doors on our fire barn, which were greatly needed as they were all rusting out and they needed to be replaced. So, and the other general funds will be used for dust control and other things within the township. So again, you guys do a great job. And also, it's Frank and Eric, thank you very much, and also thank you, Council.
Well, thank you, John. Next, we have the Village of Twining receiving $24,000. And on behalf of the Village of Twining, we have Don Ferguson, the President, and Carol Norton, the Clerk.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the tribe and the tribal council and all those involved for everything that you do for our communities. And I have to say that we've been anxiously awaiting this disbursement because the amount we've received is our final part of our final request to put up and replace our new DPW building. We've needed a new building. As I stated before in past days, that we need a bigger building so that we can get all of our equipment in one spot. And the other building is deteriorating, as well as the cement and everything, so we can replace all of that with this disbursement. So once again, I want to thank you all very much. Thank you, Eric.
And thank you. That will conclude our government distributions today. For the spring 2017, they total $535,056.24. So a lot, just over $500,000 here going into our local communities on the government side. Moving into our educational distributions today, we will start with All Grace Sims School District, receiving $72,789. And on behalf of All Grace Sims, we have Jeff Collier, the superintendent, and Jamie Kratz coming up.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Collier. I'm the superintendent of the All Grace Sims School District. And even before I get into my gratitudes, I'd like to echo what Eric was talking about the connectivity. For those of you who may not know, the relationships that we have as 2% school districts within these blessed grants are really fantastic. We were at a meeting this morning, Superintendent's Roundtable and Legislative Breakfast with Superintendent Krajaleski, who represents 2 school districts here, Mr. View, Superintendent of Pinconning, to be able to talk about all the things that we do. So as we talk about our gratitude for these grants, I hope that everybody within the county, and especially our tribal leaders, understand how blessed we are to receive these and the sustainability and the connectivity that are going into these for the betterment of our students and our community as a whole. So on behalf of the entire All Grace Sims School community, thank you very much for these sustainable grants and very integral ideas as we move forward. To talk about the bulk of our grant right now and our blessed literacy resources is Mrs. Jamie Kratz.
Thank you. On behalf of All Grace Sims students, teachers, and families, I'd like to thank you for the approval of the academic grants. Your generosity is definitely going to benefit our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Pinconning School District receiving $77,482.50. And on behalf of Pinconning Area Schools, we have Mike View, Emily Ramsey, a teacher at the schools, and Jay Bosworth, the tech coordinator.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Tribal Council, Chief Coultier. Been doing this for quite a few years, and it never gets old. Very appreciative. On behalf of our school board, we have our board president here today, Tom Badefer, and I just want to let you know when we come back, after we go to one of these ceremonies, we go back to the board and they get a list of what the school receives, and they also share our appreciation because they know we couldn't do a lot of the programs we do without these proceeds. Because if you look at our grants, there's a variety of grants. We let teachers write for grants, we let administrators write for grants, so we have things that are at the classroom level and we also have things at the district level. So just know that the breadth of what these grants impact is very great. We're going to be working on our track this year. I've been talking about this for the last 4 or 5 years. Well, it's coming to fruition. We will be getting our new track in, and we invite all the tribal members who have been such a big part in helping us attain that to come out. We'll communicate, Frank, and let you know. We'll probably have a grand opening, and we definitely would like you to be there. On another note, Mr. Collier mentioned a meeting this morning with fellow superintendents and actually legislators. And as we had our conversations, some were gloomy, some were, they're going after pensions and this, that, and the other thing and budgets. Well, toward the end of the meeting, we started to talk about these types of things, the grants we were going to get today, and I try to quantify that. And if you look at the budget proposals that are going out for schools, it's roughly $100 per student that they're going to increase our funding, give or take a little bit. Well, as I look at our grant total, we get about $100 per student per year from the tribe. So to me, that's awesome that schools don't get around us that aren't in this area. So again, you can't ask for any more from the tribe. It's been awesome. So, but I do want to let you know we have some impact in our technology department and at Central Elementary. I'm going to let Emily Ramsey talk a little bit about her flexible seating.
Hi, thank you, council members and Chief Cloutier, for putting some consideration into my grant proposal. As I looked into our 3rd grade classroom, I noticed the kids were in traditional seatings. They have opportunities for Chromebooks due to the council members, and they don't have time to collaborate because the space is so small. They're isolated, they're in one spot. So with the flexible seating idea, it gives all students an opportunity to seek their own learning style. They'll come in the morning after practice procedures and implementing how to use those seating options. They'll select a seating of their choice, have the opportunity to see if it best fits their needs. If not, they'll move on to another opportunity, which wouldn't be available if you guys hadn't approved my proposal. So I thank you very much for that. So it's something to look forward to, and I wish I had it this year, but next year's a great year. So, Mr. Bosworth.
As the technology director for Pinconning Area Schools, I've been able to stand up here a couple times over the years, and I still just am not able to find the best words to express how grateful we are. It's just, this is going to be great for the district. The carts alone that we're adding is going to be over 150 devices that I get to asset tag and get ready to go for next fall. So it's going to be a busy summer, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, so thanks.
Thank you. And for our last distribution today, we have Standish Sterling School District receiving $79,038.31. And on behalf of Standish Sterling, we have Darren Konchaleski, the superintendent. And I believe we have one more. And I'll let you introduce there because I got 3 names here. So we'll let you introduce them when you get up here.
Good afternoon. I have Mark Williams, our high school principal, here today with me. The others couldn't make it. Looking at our distribution and what we received, just words can't say enough. It is amazing, and as the 2 previous superintendents talked about, we were at our meeting this morning, and Mr. View hit on it, that the other superintendents in the room, like, we want a piece of that, you know? And it's truly amazing, truly awesome. You look at the numbers, you just infused 230,000 almost in schools, Aranet County and Northern Bay, and $764,000 into Aranet County and Northern Bay. I mean, just incredible. You've heard everyone speak, get emotional, because it is emotional. This is Christmas. I mean, this is something that not everyone gets to experience, and we are so blessed. As Mr. Collier kept saying, we are so blessed to be able to have this partnership and have you in our communities, and just can't say enough. Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. One of the best things that I like to do, I don't live in Aranet County, I live south of here. One of the things I like to do when I go home is I like to take these sheets of paper and show them around to as many people as I can and watch the jealousy just pour out of them. Because okay, but it's pretty cool because we're really fortunate of what we have, the opportunities that we are given because of the council and Chief Couture. So on behalf of the students in our community, because we're getting some auditorium updates and some technology updates, some security camera that we're going to finish in the final phase, so we're really thankful for that. Our students and our parents and our community, because our building is a community center for our students and families, and we really thank you for it. So thank you very much.
And thank you, gentlemen. So as they were stating, that concludes our distribution for today, but a couple other items I want to kind of talk about here before I let you go. And that's what I need from you folks today. As we talked about these roundtables that we've been holding, and which are very well received, and we've got so much feedback from them, it's really helped us do what we have started to implement and go to this online format. It really made it possible. So we have a lot of participation already. There's been close to 30 or 35 people signed up with emails to go try and use our live beta testing, but we'd like a lot more. So today, if you did have a chance to put your email down, you will receive an email. As Chief was stating, that will go live on Thursday, June the 1st. It's just a beta test. There's nothing you can do in there to mess up. We talked about that at the roundtable. It's an opportunity for you guys to log in to get familiar with the system. We want to give you guys about 60 days to work with that. And then we're going to follow up and have a roundtable in early August to make sure that we're working through some of those concerns. If there's bugs there, if things aren't there that you guys need or things that are identified, that's the opportunity we can utilize to really talk about those things to make sure that you guys are comfortable with it come the fall distribution. A lot of great things were added there based on your feedback. There's going to be a lot of communication opportunities available through this process. There'll be the applicant. I know within the schools, that's oftentimes the teachers. They can talk with those administrators now. They can comment on some of those requests, put a little more insight into what those requests are, and make sure that they get all, every little detail that is needed to make sure that the request goes through. On our government side of things, there's a lot of, on the county side, the commissioners oftentimes maybe only hear one or two of these proposals. This will help facilitate that discussion and make sure you're seeing each and every one of those. So let alone the communication component that this is going to provide, we have opportunity there for the matching funds portion. You guys can show what other funds are contributed or you guys have already raised for a project, and then the funds that the tribe is going to give, you can just push that over the edge. We do ask that you guys are patient in this process. We know that there are going to be a lot of little errors and little bugs that will need to be worked through, but we're committed to making this as smooth and as transparent as possible for everyone involved. So we do want to make sure you guys are asking questions. My office is available. Our IT office is going to be available. There's going to be a tutorial about how to apply for these things. About how to utilize the new system. So we're going to put a lot of resources out there, but we're really excited. We think it's going to be beneficial for everyone, not only on your side, but for the council side to see what they funded in the past. I know they do that now, but it's such a process for them, having to go through these books of 400 plus requests, trying to see what was the last cycle, what was there, what do we kind of key in as an identifier or where those fundings were, the monies were directed. So it's really going to help everyone that is going to be a part of it. So we're excited to roll it out. We do ask that as many of you participate. So if you haven't, please make sure you do that on your way out. Again, we have a lot of snacks here today. The staff here has done a fantastic job. We look forward to seeing you this fall. Any questions in the meantime, please feel free to contact us. But thanks for coming today. This will conclude our spring 2017 distribution.